You're doing something.
It says I'm muted still though. Is that, I'm muted? Shit.
You have a speaker.
Good morning. We'll get started in just a few minutes.
Okay. we're good.
Hi, this is Sandy. I would let you know I'm here.
I should.
Is she here?
Yeah.
I don't want my face on the camera. It's you that you're signed in. So.
Mhm.
I'm in court right now. I can't let you.
All right, Chambers County Probate Court come to order. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, anyone's going to testify, please raise your hand.
Incorrect. Please try again. So I'll try it again.
It's 28663.
Wait a minute.
28663.
Al, I can't hear.
Whoever's
Join with video.
Good morning, Your Honor.
whoever's trying to zoom in.
Okay,
Hand down just a minute. Let's figure out what's going
Please wait. The proceeding will begin shortly. That's all I have on my screen. It says, please wait. The proceeding will begin shortly. Chambers Commerce Probate Court meeting Zoom.
Over.
Melinda, can you?
I'm coming in there.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I can't hear. I don't know what's going on.
Where are you at?
Thank you. I'll have to listen to yours, Judge.
Hey, John, I'm on the phone right now. I'm on my phone. I can't get anything on my screen. Can you see me on the phone?
No, I can't see you on the phone.
Yeah, okay. So it says, please wait. The proceeding will begin shortly. That's all I got.
All right.
All right. Whoever that is talking, can you hear me?
I can hear, yes.
Okay, so the 832 number ended in 089. Is that who's
It's
talking?
2866.
Just
63.
That again?
28663.
That's your code to get in on the Zoom call.
Yeah, that's your code.
So, and then after I hit that, the window opens up. Please wait. The proceeding will begin shortly.
Yeah, the proceeding has begun. So, I got my IT guy here. I'm gonna let him talk to you.
What you got? What's going on?
Oh, we got somebody that can't get in. I tell you what, let's go ahead and get started. Once we get to you, who is it that can't get in? Which case?
That's the McEwen case, cause number 22 CPR 0025.
Okay.
Okay, I'm logging out. I'm going to log back
You want me to
again.
swear them in?
This is Zoom. Opening Zoom meetings.
Okay,
Zoom meetings.
let's go ahead and get started. We'll figure out.
Okay.
All right, if you'll all raise your right hand, anyone that's going to testify.
Y'all ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, do y'all swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is all true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. You can put your hand
No, I
down.
can see you on my phone. Well, I got the same after
State of Douglas Robert Evans, cause number 161.
proceedings will begin shortly.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Denise Graves here on behalf of the applicant, Courtney Christine Evans.
Good morning, Ms. Grant. And you,
I see Miss Savage here too. She's the ad litem.
I see her.
Present.
And I will begin, I guess, by calling, is April Lawrence available?
I am.
Okay, I'll call April Lawrence, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Okay, would you state your name for the court, please?
April Lawrence.
And were you well acquainted with the family history of Douglas Robert Evans?
I am.
Sorry, Your Honor. And how long did you know Mr. Evans?
All my life, well, since I was 3.
Okay. And when was the last time you saw or spoke with Mr. Evans?
Last time I spoke to him was just a couple of days before his death.
And do you know if Mr. Evans was married at the time of his passing?
He was not.
Are you familiar with, was he have any prior divorces?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with those at all?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay, you guys, if you'll mute yourself for now, McEwen case, and then we'll get back with you in a few minutes, to figure out how to get you on. Okay, sorry, Ms. Graves. You
No
may-
problem, Your Honor. Ms. Lawrence, were you familiar with Mr. Evans's marital history?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know who those marriages were with or to, or when they ended?
My mom, Christy Coddington. God, I don't know the exact year it ended. And then Pam Evans.
Okay. And were there any children born to or adopted by Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who those children are?
Courtney, Shane, and Lori Evans.
Okay. Are you familiar? Do you know if there's any other children out there of Mr. Evans?
They're not.
And to your knowledge, do you know if Mr. Evans passed with a will? Did he have a will when he passed?
To my knowledge, he did not have a written will.
And do you have a financial interest in this estate?
I do not.
I'll pass this witness, Your Honor.
Counsel,
You are April Lawrence, is that correct?
Yes.
And Ms. Lawrence, you said that you knew Mr. Evans all of his life. How long would that be? I'm asking your age.
Well, I am soon to be 46. I was 3 when he and my mom married, and we stayed well acquainted after their divorce.
That's what I was going to ask you. Y'all stayed familiar with him and what transpired with it in his life after your mother and he divorced. Is that
I
correct?
did. Yeah, very much. So we stayed in contact, spent family time and holidays and special occasions together.
And in regard to children, you stated that he had 2 kids born by his first marriage.
Christy.
And then the second marriage, was that to a Pamela Ann Evans?
Correct.
Okay. And Lori Ann Evans was born of that marriage. Is that correct?
Correct.
And to your knowledge, did he have any relationships with any other women where a child would have been born?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. And do you think you would have known that had that happened?
Yes.
Because you stayed in contact with him up until his death?
Yes.
And he never stated to you that he was served by the Attorney General in any suit involving a child of some woman that he wasn't married to?
No.
Okay. And you feel like that had that happened, he would have probably disclosed it to you?
I feel like many of us would have known. Absolutely.
Okay. Was he close with his children?
Can you say that one more time?
Did he have a close relationship with his 3 kids?
He did. Yes.
So had there been another child, would he be the type of person that would probably have a relationship with them?
Yes.
I would pass the witness.
okay, call your next witness. You don't need Ms. Lawrence anymore, do you, Counselor?
No, Your Honor.
You can be dismissed, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, call your next witness.
Sandra Page.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, would
Can you hear
state
me?
your- Yes, we can hear you. Or
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. I'm Sandra Page. I'm
And
Doug's first cousin.
Okay, and so you were well acquainted with the family history of your cousin, Mr. Evans?
Since he was a baby,
Okay, that answers the next question. How long did you know him?
all of his life.
And when was the last time you saw or spoke with Mr. Evans?
Probably a week before his death.
And was Mr. Evans married at the time of his passing?
No, no.
Were there any children born or adopted by Mr. Evans?
He had Courtney and Shane, and he raised April, that was his stepdaughter, and then he had Lori with his second marriage. That was all.
Okay, and to your knowledge, there was only 2 marriages of Mr. Evans?
Yes.
And do you know if Mr. Evans left a will?
As best
To your
as I know,
knowledge?
he did not.
You have a financial interest in this estate?
No, I do not.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Savage.
Ms. Page, in regard to Mr. Evans, you stated that he was not married at the time of his death, correct?
That's correct. He was not married.
Okay. And do you know of any relationships that he had with any other women where a child would have been born?
No, I do not know of any.
Okay. And do you feel like had he had a child with some other woman, you would have known about it?
I think so. I believe so.
Okay. Did you have a close relationship with Mr. Evans?
Yes and no. We stayed in contact, but not a lot, but we did stay in contact, especially toward the end.
Okay. And you've heard the testimony in regard to the 2 children that he had during his first marriage?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Okay.
The name?
Did you hear the testimony that was given in regard to his first marriage?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
He had
And
2 children.
And that would have been Courtney and Shane?
That's correct.
Okay. And then his second marriage, were you familiar with his second
With
wife?
Lori. Yes, that was Lori Ann.
Okay. Now, Lori Ann, are you saying that's his second wife or his second or his child by the second marriage?
Child with Pam.
Okay, Pam.
He was
that's
married
what
to
it-
Pam.
was, okay, she was his second wife. And to your knowledge, there was no other children born or adopted by him during his lifetime.
That's correct.
I pass the witness.
Okay, you done with this witness, counsel?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you can be dismissed. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm going to approve the judgment declaring heirship. Anything, Ms. Savage, before we do that?
No, Judge, I agree. I think that they've proven all his kids.
Yeah, I see you both signed off on it, so I'm going to approve the judgment declaring heirship, and you may proceed, ma'am, with the administration.
Thank you, Your Honor. Courtney Christine Evans.
Yes. I'm
Good
here.
morning. Would you state your name for the court, please?
Yes, Courtney Christine Evans.
And you're very well acquainted with the decedent, Douglas Robert Evans, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and he's your father, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did your father pass on September the 7th of 2021 in Baytown, Chambers County, Texas, at the age of 61?
Yes, he did.
And was the date of Mr. Evans' death less than 4 years ago?
Yes.
And was Mr. Evans a resident of Chambers County at the time of his death?
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, your father did not pass with the will, is that correct?
Yes. To the best of my knowledge, we did not have one.
Okay, and you looked around to see if you could locate one, is that correct?
Well, yes, we've looked. Yeah, we didn't find anything anywhere as far as looking through those things, you know.
Okay, and is there a necessity for an administration of your father's estate?
I believe so. Yes.
There's some
It's all
assets
still new
out.
to me. I'm sorry if I.
That's okay. Are there some assets out there that you need to be able to gain access to because there's no beneficiaries, designations, and things like that?
Yes.
Was your father ever divorced?
Yes, twice.
Okay, and who were they? Who was those marriages to that ended
The
in
first
divorce?
one would have been my mom, Christy Evans, and then Pam Evans would have been the other one.
And we're asking that you are appointed the independent administrator of this estate. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you want the bond waived, and there's no need for appointment of appraisers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and this is a non-taxable estate. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, and you're qualified to serve and accept the letters of administration,
Yes.
and you don't have a felony record or anything like that that would exclude you from being appointed. Is that correct?
Yes, I do not.
Okay, and the other heirs of your father's estate, which would be Shane and Lori, they are in agreement for you to serve as the independent administrator of the estate. Is that correct?
Yes.
And they have filed waivers and consents to that, correct?
Yes.
All right, so asking the court to appoint you today for independent administrator?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we just ask you appoint Ms. Evans as the administrator of the estate, and this is a non-taxable estate, and ask that she serve without bond. And pass the witness.
What's your reason for requesting to serve without bond?
I'm sorry. I didn't hear. Could you repeat the question?
Your Honor, it's a small, it's not a large estate, and the financial burden of posting a bond would probably consume some of the assets. And everybody's in agreement that the bond be waived.
Okay, so in the waiver, they agreed to no bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then I'm gonna approve the order granting independent administration and authorized letters.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No bond. Thank you.
Thank you.
May we be excused?
You may be. Have a good day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ask them how they're gonna give you,
Right now.
how they're gonna prove that you're the executor now. Paperwork.
All right, calls number 39, the state of Edward Leonard Aaron's.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
I have my client, Miss Catherine Adolph, and I'll proceed when the court is ready for me.
Is Miss Adolph with you? Or she?
Yeah, it says Leslie on her deal. That's her daughter's
Okay.
name.
Good morning. So we swore you in, Miss Adolph. All right, you may proceed, counsel.
Can you hear me okay, Miss Adolph?
Yes.
Okay, good. And I can hear you now. Thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Can you please state your name, ma'am?
Catherine Ann Adolph.
And we are here today to probate the will of to admit the will of your father, Mr. Edmund Aarons. Is that right?
Yes.
And you are his daughter, as
Yes.
I insinuated. When did Mr. Aarons pass away?
June 19th, 1983.
And did he pass away up in Jackson County, Missouri?
Yes.
But his principal estate, basically the majority of what he owned, was located down here in Chambers County. Is that right?
Yes.
And 4 years have elapsed since the date of his passing. Is that right?
Yes.
And your reasoning for not filing anything beforehand to probate his will, was it because you thought all property matters were already taken care of and no title needed to be passed or anything like that? Is that right?
Yes.
And you have since learned since then that this real property that he owns down in Chambers County was never taken care of, and that's why you contacted me to take care of this matter. Is that right?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to therefore still admit his will after 4 years?
Yes.
And you believe a necessity exists to administer his estate so that you can properly pass the title to this real property here in Chambers County. Is that right?
Yes.
And did Mr. Aarons have a will dated December 29th, 1982?
Yes.
And is that the original will that you have since provided to the court?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, did he ever revoke this will?
No.
And this will was self-proved with an affidavit?
I don't understand that question. I'm sorry.
Never mind, I'm sorry. Were any children born to or adopted by Mr. Aarons after this will?
No.
And was any marriage dissolved after this will?
No.
And specifically, was he married when he passed away?
Yes.
And what was the name of his spouse?
Elizabeth Claire Arns.
And when is she still with us today?
No,
When
she
did she-
died.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. She died December the 11th, 2018.
And we were here in this court a couple weeks ago to admit her will to probate. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were appointed the independent executrix of her estate?
Yes.
And going back to Mr. Aaron's will, did he name your mother Elizabeth as the sole beneficiary of his will?
Yes.
But she did survive him a significant amount of time. Is that right?
Yes.
And so her estate, to your knowledge, would be the one to receive Mr. Aaron's estate.
Yes.
And in Mr. Aaron's will, he named Elizabeth to serve as the independent executrix.
Yes.
But of course, she has since passed away. And there was no alternate executrix named in her will. Is that right?
No.
And because you have been appointed the executrix of Miss Aaron's estate, are you asking the court to also appoint you the executrix of this estate?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to appoint you and have you serve without bond or any other security?
Yes.
And are you disqualified by law from serving as the executrix of this estate? Any felony convictions or anything out there?
No.
That's all I have, Judge. I'll pass the witness.
All right, no questions, and hereby admit the will of probate and authorize letters. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
May be excused, Your Honor.
You may be. Have a good day.
Thank you. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
All right, calls number 43, the state of James McLeod. Mr. Bill? Yeah, he's on here. Alex, you're muted. And you look like an eagle.
Judge,
Good morning.
Alex is coming. Just a minute.
Morning, Alex. All right, have we sworn your client in?
Yes.
Yes, we have.
She'll raise her.
Raise your right hand.
Raise, Melinda, go ahead.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Yes.
Have a seat, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge. Can you state your name for the record?
Donna McLeod Rojas.
Okay, and you are the sister of James Thomas McLeod, is that
Yes,
correct? Okay, and you are also the applicant to have his will admitted to probate, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, slide up a little closer so I
Okay.
can hear you.
Go back to Count McKee.
Okay, and so
Okay.
James McLeod, he died on June 12th, 2021, correct?
Yes.
Now, 4 years had not elapsed since the date of his death, correct?
Yes.
James had a permanent fixed residence in Chambers County, correct?
Yes.
Do you know that address?
Well, he was living with me at the time.
Was he-
103 Ladoa Road, Tacoma, Winnie, Texas, 77665.
Okay, and then at the time of the execution of the will, to the best of your knowledge, James was over 18, correct?
Yes.
He was of sound mind and executed the will with the formalities and solemnities and under the circumstances required by law, to the best of your knowledge, right?
Yes.
Because you're actually in my office when he did the will.
Yes.
Okay. And that will was self-proved with witnesses, right?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, he has not revoked this will or did not before he passed away, correct?
No, he did not.
Nobody has objected or contested this will, correct?
Yes.
They
No,
They have not.
you're
Okay.
correct.
And in the will, you're named as independent executor
Yes.
to serve without bond, right?
Yes.
And you're not disqualified by law from serving in that capacity, correct?
Correct.
And you're eligible to receive letters of testamentary according to law, correct?
Yes.
Now, there is a necessity that his will, this administration go through so you can take care of his business, correct?
Yes.
No interested person had applied for to the court for appointment of an appraiser. Is that correct?
Yes,
So you don't need anything, right?
no,
Okay, you just want to return an affidavit and close the estate at that point, correct?
yes, sir,
Are you asking the court to admit this will today?
yes.
Uh,
There I am.
That's all we have, Judge.
Okay. I hereby admit the will to probate and authorized letters. Thank you, Counselor.
Thanks, Judge.
Yeah. Have a good day.
You too. Y'all too.
All right, call number 44, the state of Anthony Joseph Lamb passes. Good morning, Counselor Sylvia. You may proceed, sir. Daniel, I can't hear you. I see your lips moving. No. You're young. You should be able to work a computer. We see you trying to talk, but can't hear you.
Keep the volume turned up. Sometimes.
Try it again. One more time. No. You want to try to reboot and we'll come back to you? All right, cause number 45, the state of Fernando. Oh, that's yours too. Cause number 46, the state of Mary Louise George. Good morning, Mr. McCall.
Good morning, Your Honor.
And you may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge. Your name is Cynthia Johnson, is that correct?
Yes,
Your mother was Mary Louise George.
yes,
She passed away on December 28th of 2021. Is that
yes,
correct? And she had her primary residence in Chambers County when she passed away.
yes,
And she left a valid written will that was dated May 23rd of 06.
yes,
And you filed that will for probate in this court, is that correct?
yes,
And so far as you know, she never revoked that will.
no,
And she never had any children born to her, adopted to her after the date of the will.
no,
She never got divorced after the date of the will.
no,
And the will named you to be the independent executor.
yes,
And you're not disqualified in any way from serving as independent executor.
no,
And you're here today asking that the court approve your application to probate the will and name you as independent executor.
yes.
That's all I have, Judge.
All right, hereby admits the will to probate and authorized letters. All right, let's go to 49, the state of Michael W. Reagan. Good morning.
Morning, Judge.
You may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge. Your name is Sandra Reagan, is that right? Your husband was Michael W. Reagan.
Correct,
He passed away on February 21st of 2021.
correct,
He had his principal place of residence in Chambers County when he passed away.
correct,
And he left a valid written will dated January 22nd of 03.
yes,
Okay, and you filed that will for probate in this court.
correct,
Okay, and as far as you know, he never revoked that will.
correct.
And he didn't leave anything to any charitable organization or anything like that.
No, sir,
Didn't have any children born to or adopted to him after the date of the will.
no, sir,
Never got divorced after the date of the will.
no, sir,
And the will names you to be the independent executor.
correct,
And so far, you're not disqualified in any way from serving.
correct,
And you're here today asking that the court approve your application and admit the will for probate.
correct.
That's all I have, Judge.
All right, will to probate and authorized letters. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
You too, it's good to see you.
Okay. All right, cause number 51, Warren. That one's, we pulled Warren, Walter Warren.
No, I'm sorry, I told Bob and told them that they passed.
Okay, so we're pulling it off the docket. Okay. Daniel, you want to try again? You may have to call in Call 24-409. Get your phone out, I'll tell you. 409-267-2440. I'll have Lauren transfer you in here and we'll get you on the phone.
Hey, Lauren. That's for Daniel. We'll be a call in for probate. Thank you.
Daniel?
Judge, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I might can hear you on the computer. Try it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I guess not. Okay, so we're on calls number, let's see, 40, was it 44, your first one? All right, you may proceed, Counselor.
Judge, I've got Ms. Gina in, Lancaster Kelly here with me.
Good morning.
Ms. Kelly, is it true that Anthony Joseph Lancaster, the decedent, died on February 27th, 2021 in Baytown, Chambers County, Texas, at the age of 51 years, and that 4 years have not
Comes with the computer every now and then.
And is it true that Anthony was domiciled and had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County at the date of his death? And is it true that the will dated May 25th, 2006, which we've already provided to the court, was never revoked as far as you know?
That's true.
And is it true that a necessity exists for the administration of his estate?
Yes.
And is it true that no child or children were born to or adopted by Anthony after the date of his will?
That's correct.
And is it true that Anthony was not married at the date of the will and did not marry after the will?
Okay.
And is it true that you, as the independent executor named in the will, are not disqualified by law from accepting letters testamentary or from serving as such, and that you are entitled to such letters testamentary? Judge, no further questions.
All right, hereby admit the will of probate and authorize letters.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am. And you may proceed on cause number 45, the state of Fernando Minute.
Judge, I'll have to go grab her. I'll have to go grab her from the hallway real quick.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Big doctor. So
You can right over here.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
she said you swear to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. You put your hand down, you may proceed, Counsel.
All right, Judge, I'm going to put out there. Ms. Rhonda Jean Munoz. Is it true that Munoz, the decedent, died on March 16th, 2022 in Webster County, Texas, at the age of 65 years? And that 40 last date of his death. And is it true that Fernando was domiciled and had a fixed in Chambers at the date of his death?
Yes.
And is it true that the will dated January 28th, 2021, which we have already provided to the court, was never revoked as far And is it true that a necessity exists for the administration of his estate? And is it true that no child were born to or were adopted by Fernando after the date of his will? And is it true that he was not divorced or had his marriage annulled or declared void after the date? And is it true that you, as the independent executor named in his will, are not disqualified by law from receiving a letter of testimony or from serving as independent executors? All right, Judge, no further questions for this witness.
All right, everybody admit the will of probate and authorize letters.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Menounos, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Okay, back to number 25, the state of Barbara M. McKeon.
Yes, Your Honor. Patrick, unmute.
I can
You
see
raise
both
your
of you
right hand,
can
Patrick.
hear you now.
Can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me
Raise
or
your right
not?
hand.
Raise
Your right hand, sir.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, put your hand down and you may proceed, Constance.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Patrick, Barbara M. McEwen was your wife? Is that correct?
Yes.
And she died on February 18th,
Yes.
2022, is that correct?
Yes.
And more than 4 years have not elapsed since her death, and the filing of this application for probate.
That's correct.
And she executed a will dated October 22nd, 2014. I showed it to you earlier, and we looked at page 7. You recognize that to be her signature on
Yes, I
page
do.
7 of the last will and testament. You do. And since she signed that will, no children were born or adopted. To the best of your knowledge, and you live together. She did not change her will. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Now, Patrick, you're not disqualified to serve. You're not a convicted felon. You're an upstanding citizen. You're aware of your duties and responsibilities as executor. Is that correct?
Yes, I am aware.
And there's no gifts to charity here. And you'd like the court to appoint you to be the independent executor of your wife's estate. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And you'll faithfully carry out your duties and responsibilities, correct?
I will.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
All right, everybody admit the will of probate and authorize letters. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good day.
All right, bye now.
Bye now.
Goodbye. So. So who's that up in the corner? I guess they're just somebody hadn't logged off. Yes, I've checked all of them off except for one. There must be somebody that was on there a while ago. Yeah.